Alrighty, folks. We are back in action. Let me
We're here.
come here, bud.
I wonder if the layout. Oh yeah, we got a new friend.
We got a new friend to the pod. Day one officially in the household. Everybody, welcome Royce,
Royce. Oh,
the new buddy.
does Royce have a middle name
Um, he does not.
or
Not
a
yet.
nick? I guess you haven't established a nickname. My dogs have always had another name besides the name that we give them, and they get called it by like 50% of the time.
His dad was a show dog. Um, so and he was like the alpha of the litter, like the biggest one, and he just got so much energy. So we're like, let's give him a little bougie name. So we joked that we were going to name him after Rolls Royce. So that's where Royce
Ah,
comes from.
I like it.
And he's just such a little nugget, this little guy.
How big
So
will it get?
15 pounds max.
Dang,
Dude, he's like 6.5, 7 pounds right now, and just like a little nugget.
that's awesome. Yeah, my dog is 65 pounds.
So that's a way bigger,
Yeah.
way
his
bigger.
his paws are pretty his legs are pretty short. And so like dude, he's like sits on the ground and like he's hard to move sometimes. It's pretty funny.
That's the cutest thing. All right,
Yeah.
where do you wanna start here?
Well, we're here. One question I would have is that people that do podcasts, how do they find the time? I mean, I get it. It's not our full-time job. I don't think it's their full-time job either. Maybe they're just way better at committing, and maybe it's themselves, and then we're two, so we have two schedules. Like that's one question I have is like people that run other digital marketing podcasts, and it's not their only job. Like, how do you stay consistent?
It's unbelievably tough to do that.
We're just trying to find an hour a week to do it. You might have a client call that books over. I might do that. Like we shifted today, and it's like, yeah, I'm just wondering if there's some sort of secret sauce that
We might just
maybe
have to
missing.
record on different days throughout the week of like, hey, this is definitely like an open slot for me.
Yeah, we might have to float it. I think Fridays are always fun though because we got good energy,
That's the
etc.
best.
And I'm like energized to talk about stuff. Where it's like, if we did a podcast on a Monday, I'd fuck,
Be a little
fuck that.
different.
Yeah, that would not be fun. I'd be like, oh,
No doubt
dude,
about
I
it.
got so much shit to do. Like, can I talk to you later? It's like Monday setting up the week. So, I mean, I guess that's where I wanted to start to bitch and complain about that, but no big deal. We're here. We're doing it. I do have several different like news stories that have popped up over the last week or two. Let me just pull and see. We could talk about them if we'd like to.
I do have one topic that we could chat about
Mhm.
that I'm sure would be interesting.
Let's do it.
Why don't we just start with mine and then we go to a topic or two of yours?
Yeah, I love it.
And it's not even like a fully fleshed out thing just yet here, but it looks like ChatGPT is going to launch ads, and they I forget exactly what sparked this. I want to say somebody like was analyzing their code pretty consistently, and there was some like snippet in there that like mentioned ads. Um, and then there's been a couple different reports. The Information just released an article this past week or so, and they essentially said that internal employees are currently testing the ad platform. So I don't know if it was leaked from them, but essentially they are there's going to be an ad platform at some point in Q1. And
Wow. Q1?
we that's what people are speculating, that it's going to happen Q1 of this year. We're going to have ChatGPT ads where you could have ads in ChatGPT responses. We don't know if it's going to be free version, if it's going to be pro versions excluded from ads because you're paying for it, like what that's going to be, but they are going to do it. And you got to think like there's just like there's just so much investment in the space, like they need cash flow, and like ads is like such a money printer for these businesses, so it makes a ton of sense. I read an article and there was a couple highlights in there that was like a couple interesting call outs that basically stated, again, not really sure what this is going to look like, but it's going to be much different than keywords and just keywords alone. Who knows if that's what you're going to be able to bid on in the platform? It's going to be keywords, or if it's going to be like query based, where you're going to have like, hey, here's like long tail queries that we're going to want to. Who knows? But I'm assuming it's going to be similar, but like different, because there's as you know, there's a lot more context that people are giving an LLM than they are Google. So maybe, I don't know if you're going to be like, hey, like we want to target like these job titles and these ages and with these pain points, et cetera, if it's just going to be keyword based, what that's going to look like. but I did see some folks are saying, hey, get on Microsoft Ads right now, get on Bing, get your profile set up. They've also mentioned too that like you
Are they
should.
going to launch it through Microsoft Ads?
So that's the other thing. It's not sure, but they're both owned. Not both owned, but like they have a huge partnership with Microsoft. So there's um, people are like the hypothesis is it's going to be through Microsoft Ads, through Bing Ads, or standalone platform, or both. Like you know how like you could do connected TV placements in Google or Microsoft right now, where it's
Yeah.
not like you're like bidding on like through a connected TV platform, but it's in Microsoft or Bing or Google, something potentially similar. So some folks are saying, hey, set up a shopping feed in Microsoft Ad and import that from Bing because shopping and a merchant center is a really big signal potentially for your ability to bid in ChatGPT. Candidly, I don't really know where that one comes from, but they have been saying this could be a good time to consider like some ad copy to be a bit more like conversational and not as like corporate terms as they once will in simplified terms to think through. But essentially, the point being, it might make sense if you don't do Bing ads right now for your clients to maybe set up an ad account. That way, you could be a bit more of like a first mover whenever like they announce this because I would assume who knows? But I feel like if you're going to build a whole ad platform, that's a lot of infrastructure you need to build. Maybe they just start it in Microsoft Ads initially here.
Okay, I got some thoughts. Um,
So yeah, so what are your thoughts there on that? Because I feel like
so Bing, I am not sold that it's going to be in Bing ad platform.
same.
I don't think that's like a long term thing because yeah, they have a partnership, but it's not like they own them, right? And I would think that building an ad platform on the back end wouldn't be that difficult. They have AI coding machines in there to build stuff probably pretty quickly,
That's true.
right? Like, hey, use your
And
own
long
technology,
term
build it up. And long
probably
term,
gives you a little more safety if you own the ad platform as opposed to you using Microsoft.
yeah, yeah. And I can get people saying, oh, bring your merchant feed over, etc., because it's probably going to be product centric ads first. So that's my first thing. I don't know if I'm skeptic it would be on Bing ads. That's my other one. The two other notes is that how you're going to bid, right? Here's my guess. They're not going to give you the ability to figure out targeting. It's going to be more like a PMax or an Advantage Plus. Give me your ad. Give me your ad copy. We'll find the user.
I totally see that. Like way less control.
Completely way less control, and that's the pitch. Like we'll find the person that wants to find. Sure, you might have a setting of like, hey, if you're B2B, you want more lead gen, or that's your B2C and it's lead gen. You kind of define what you're looking for rather than e-commerce. But think about it, like e-commerce is super straightforward. Give me your product feed. They'll probably actually already scrape your site, to be honest. They can ingest it with the whole like universal commerce shit they got going on, or their partnership with
They're already just
Shopify.
going to do that.
They already have your data. They're just going to ingest it, and it's like, okay, cool. Maybe you do provide them with a merchant feed, and there's a connection with Shopify, and it makes it easier to do so. But at that point, it's like you're not bidding on keywords, right? It's just going to bid on what you are, and if it's non-e-commerce related, give them a good ad copy, and you're selling this service. We'll find your users looking for you, because that way, because that brings my last point. That way they can still kind of hide the data of what's going on the platform. Because when you first said like, ooh, they're going to be launching ads, I got super excited thinking, finally, maybe we'll get actual like search volumes of themes or topics of people using ChatGPT, right? So you know how often someone is searching for this in ChatGPT. We have no idea at this point. Everybody's fucking guessing. Any of the tools that are out there, the SEMrush's tool or platforms that are solely like AI track, they don't know how much volume is in those things
You
at
know what
all.
else is also interesting too on that point is like a lot of them are now based off it's like more of like a personalized experience. So like a tool that's tracking a query or something, it's kind of nonsense because it's really based off of like your search history and other factors there that's
Of
more
what actually
personal
shows
to
up.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So I think there's two things. The way that I believe that they're estimating it now, are like I would guess, they take Google search volume and they figure out, hey, this is the estimate that they're giving us on a monthly basis. Let's take some sort of percentage and normalize it across everything, and that's how we're going to get how many searches or mentions or prompts are being done a month. That's my guess. But to your point, the results I think are completely bullshit. Where I think they're going to be super custom to the individual user for what they're asking for.
So if you
So
are doing SEO on an account or you're doing some type of like LLM, AI search, geo or whatever, and this ad platform comes out, probably makes a lot of sense to at least have a little budget because then you could start seeing those
if
search
they
queries
give it to you,
if they do that.
if they give it to you, because I don't think they're going to.
Like Performance Max, when it first rolled out, you got no search query data for like years.
Yeah, I don't know if they will. Like you'd hope so, and then okay, great. Then we have some normalcy of what we're used to before, and then yeah, man, that breaks into a whole new world of like data collection for us from a marketing perspective, which I would be excited about because right now I don't have a lot I can tell clients that is legitimate firsthand data that I know what volume are for certain things. So yeah,
It's so
man,
true.
that's exciting to hear that they're going to launch something. Uh, yeah, if it's going to be under the free accounts or the pro accounts or non. But I get the money grab. They need to make more money. The subscriptions aren't going to do it. And I feel like ChatGPT has gotten, dude, I don't know what Altman's doing, but they had first movers rights to this whole market. And I feel like in the last 8 months, they've really fumbled it as far as keeping ahead of others, as far as creativity and models and etc. I don't know. 5.2 sucks. I hate 5.2.
It just seems like everybody's shifting towards a little hatred towards the brand and the platform. No doubt
A little
about
bit.
it.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm talking to clients, like other people, they're
The
exploring
vibe
other
shift.
platforms. Yeah, maybe it's just a vibe shift, and maybe this kind of parlays into. I think they're really scared, and they have a potential to lose even more market share to Google because of Apple's announcement that they
Oh
dropped
my
this
God.
past
This is
week that they're
tee
going.
this one up here.
Yeah, so Apple announced. I got this on Monday, the 12th of January. Apple picks Google Gemini to run AI powered Siri coming this year. I think that is huge, not for Apple, but I guess for both. But, you know, Apple's intelligence tool now sucks. Like it's supposed to run off some chat GPT. It'll prompt you, do you want me to check chat GPT? It sucks like the AI queries. Like,
I've never heard a good thing about Siri and I personally using it and then same with ChatGPT thing as well there.
yeah, it's like a weird integration. It doesn't work great. So if it is as powerful as Gemini coming across on here, I think it's going to do two things. Like one, Apple users are going to be ecstatic; they're going to be using it more, so adoption rate will go up. But then it's like, oh, Gemini is a great AI platform. We should use this more. And I think the adoption rate is going to be a lot higher for the normal Joe Blow that has not adapted to AI yet.
You I highly doubt this, but you think like, you're like, hey Siri, you think it's gonna be like, hey Gemini. I don't
No,
know
they
if
won't.
Apple would allow that. I feel
No,
like
they'll
that would
have they'll
not
have some
be,
sort of co-branding on the bottom of it, powered by Gemini, Google Gemini, or something like that.
but just
Uh,
think about the data that would give Google. Like I feel like that's a massive advantage for Google in general. Like I know Freeberg on All In Podcast always talks about initially like LLM training, Google has such an advantage with, what they own in search and then YouTube as just a massive repository of videos and content. Think about if you get all these people talking to Siri and stuff like that and it actually helps and gives you some like AI functionality to it. Like now you get that whole data set and Google has that. Like even if that contract doesn't pan out, I think it's what? How many years is the deal for? I want to
see
say it's for a couple
this
years at least.
year, blah blah blah. Reference this. I don't think they've listed how long it was going to be. Delayed some of my phone stuff. Yeah, I don't
This
have a
little guy
date.
just want to bite everything.
That's funny. Yeah, they don't have a date on how long, but I
But
mean,
just think about the data that gives them. That's in like absurd.
yeah, and that will probably affect our normal Google Ads PMAX campaigns because they're going to get a crazy more amount. They're going to talk to each other, right? And so it's like the user intent behind someone. It's like, dude, if I'm talking to Siri about something random, what did I use Siri most recently? Okay, yeah, I was looking at. Well, I guess did I use Siri? But I could have used Siri for this example. Like I'm looking at like tires for a trailer or something like that, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna get ads through my somehow for tires for my trailer or something because it started in that channel. So it's a whole new like open avenue for like content collection of queries and
So you're
content
saying in
users.
that sense, like that's actually also going to benefit the ad side, basically.
Oh, 100%. Why wouldn't they pull from that? You know,
That's insane. And then Google just continues to
monopolize the damn market, dude.
insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know what else too is also
And
like
then, you
tied
know,
into this? Keep
so,
going, keep going.
so what's funny is that Meta will actually Im- be improved by this too. The only reason I say that is because Google's got the monopoly in to get people into websites. But once you're on a website and you're pixeled by Meta, Meta's algorithm is so fucking insane
That's so
where
true.
you drop onto someone else's website and introduce, you're just getting those ads until you show interest in something else and it goes away for it all. So I think it'll influx it even more because I think it's going to push more traffic into these user sites. So that's my only point.
Wild. Just wild. Just like so crazy that whole thing. Um the other thing that I've noticed here as well, so like tons of data that's probably going to improve ad campaign and targeting. So I think like as a marketer, you could be pretty confident to be like, you know what? I can continue to bet on Google to drive performance for clients. I'm continue to be confident in that channel, especially on the e-commerce side, because I think that's a great point. But I think just in general, the other thing that I feel like is really tricky that Google has done that's also tied to AI is I've noticed in the AI overview section, like when they give you a response, like and then you click of like you know how like they'll give you like a response sometimes in AI overviews and then it'll be like a couple bullet points and then like they'll have like the little link at the end of the bullet points. Well, if you want to dig like a little bit deeper, maybe like they'll have like a word that's hyperlinked in there times, you click that link, it takes you to another Google search, which gives you a search result, which is a sponsored ad. So they're basically like,
Mm.
here's results. Click on that. We just got another another search. So like that probably gives them, you know, like a little bit more of a, of like, you know, volume of Google still remains like great. But then like they've updated the ad section to have like just sponsored ads where it doesn't look like an ad, like it looks like an organic post. So then it's like, AI overviews continues to provide value. People maybe shift away from, you know, ChatGPT or whatever, click on that, and that's like another way to get some ad dollars and some revenue. And it's like such a machine that they have in place. It's like it's wild. Like you just got to respect it. Like you really do.
Yeah, that's interesting too because that link that goes off to the section of Google ads that don't look like ads, like the sponsored section, like that is pretty deceptive. Like that update, I'm not sure when they rolled it out, but it's
I
like a
think like
chunk.
2-ish months ago now at this point. Like it's pretty
Yeah,
recent now.
you can't tell.
You
You
really
really,
can't.
yeah.
I get fooled by it all the time, and I always look for that type of stuff. I'm not a hater on like ads though. I will say the one thing that I do as like a, you know, person in like of like heavy into Google Ads is like I know if I'm not ready to like buy a product or submit a form, like I won't click the ad because I'm like, you know what, I'm going to respect it. I won't charge you for that click because I'm not ready to do this. But if I am, oftentimes I will click on that ad.
That's funny.
Yeah, I really do that. What were you going to say though?
No, no, I was just gonna say, it does bring up kind of like the organic visibility side of things. I mean, dude, SEOs just keep getting fucking hit left and right with just not that SEO is not important by
For
any means.
decades now.
It's super important, but it's like that page on Google has changed so much over the years, and especially the last 6 months with the AI overviews that are coming in. You used to have the knowledge graph, but now it's AI overview stuff that comes in. Sure, there's links, but it's a little different. But then you typically have that sponsor result that you can't tell it's a sponsor result there as well. So it's a little bit of a like the true like normal organic results at the bottom. I'm sure the click through rates have dropped quite a bit. But then on the flip side, like AI overviews, I've seen it. Like you don't have to rank in like the top 5 to be in an AI overview. You could be like 5, 6, 7, 8, even second page on the search results, and they will put you in an AI overview. So it's not necessarily like as important to be like the top 10 or top 5, I should say. because they're pulling in from deeper sources into the AI overviews. They don't show like as much clicks or traffic that's coming in, but yeah, it's a difficult one. And then just reporting on all this stuff is just such a difficult thing to do, right? You
I
can't
think
tell in your,
reporting is
you can't
probably the
tell,
toughest.
yeah, like you can't tell in your paid ad reports where did it come from an AI overview, you know? No, I
Plus,
didn't get it. Damn it.
hopefully it does that though. Hopefully we get to that point where we do get that. But um,
Like organic, you can't tell. Like if it's an AI overview click or if it's a normal organic click, they're blended in the same. So this becomes challenging. And yeah, how do you look at that visibility coming in? And I do think that the whole zero click thing is for sure happening. So people are doing their research on ChatGPT or even these open AI overviews, and they find your brand and they don't click on it, but then they go do a Google search for your brand specifically, or they go directly to your website. They type it in because they see it. I have seen it firsthand with our data, like more and more the last couple of months. And it's not that we've had more visibility, etc. Maybe a little bit, but that instance is happening. And so, how do you track that increase? Because what that increase is going to be, it's going to be branded organic traffic coming in and more direct traffic. That's really hard to parse out and show growth, that it was from that zero click traffic coming in. I see it just firsthand looking at like daily numbers that I totally see the user journey. I'm like, how does this person in Indiana looking for us for a niche that we serve? And they directly landed on our homepage of the website, be it direct or, like I said, organic search to our homepage, which is going to be branded.
no
Tell me
doubt,
how they found out about us.
it's so true though.
And you do it at a large scale with big companies' websites. That becomes even more difficult to figure out how they actually learned about you.
I think the whole topic of the tracking thing is like just so interesting in general. And you know what's crazy is like it could be all nonsense. Like I want to say like all nonsense, but like a lot of nonsense with like LLM tracking. Enterprise level size clients won't even care.
No, they need something to report on because the
Exactly.
CEO
You
or
need something to
stakeholder
report
said,
on.
yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. It's just like that's the traditional way. Even though you put an asterisk, like I can't verify this is true or not, but you have something, whatever, to check off the box that for your 2026 planning.
It's like I think, if you're in this agency space, I think obviously like understanding how these LLMs rank things to better explain it to clients. And I think like that could just be a topic of conversation and just, continuing to like try and educate your client. So like everybody's on the same page there. Um, I think that's like really important here. And like also throughout this whole conversation, these past couple of months, I've just only become more confident in like Google as an acquisition channel. Like they will find ways to make ads work. Like they will definitely do that. And it would be really interesting to see what a chat GPT looks like. I know Perplexity has also done ad testing in beta. They've only selected like a couple agencies, and this was like last year. They haven't rolled it out to the public, but I don't know. I think like the whole concept of like AI and LLMs for a while was like, wow, is like ads done? Is SEO done? I feel like it's the total opposite now. Like I've fully shifted away from that. I feel like you still got to invest in those platforms, both paid and organic.
Yeah, I agree. So, but on the Google side, having so much confidence in the platform itself, um, I think people a lot of time traditionally just looks at Google ads as search ads, right? I mean, I guess is that confidence coming like, hey, no, the traditional search ad product is awesome still, um, or is it also maybe a sentiment like the PMAX and all the different placements is doing a good job?
I guess depends. Like I think PMAX in e-commerce for sure drives results. I think anybody listening to this who does PMAX for like lead gen, it's just like you're gonna get so much nonsense that pulls through. Like you just truly, truly are.
Okay, so I agree with that. We're like PMAX for for Legion is very very difficult
It's so difficult.
to do. So, but the search results are still very strong and intent focused for someone on the Legion side. Makes sense. But then if e-commerce brands, it should be pretty much all PMAX, um, because of all the different placements, right? That's what's making the advantage to it all.
Pretty much. Exactly. And shopping and all of those search results. Like PMAX is gonna get you shopping results. and like performance there for sure. But like I don't know, the other thing that I think about in this whole thing is like Google still does drive a bunch of like amazing results, but also like how much of that stuff is inflated by like AI overview, like little schemes to get you that like sneaky sponsored placement, and like those types of instances where it's just very interesting. But I think nonetheless though, like non-brand search terms still drive performance. Like it still does, and they've just had such an engine for so long. And you also got to think like, you know, not to be ageist here, but like a lot of decision makers at businesses, especially in enterprise level, they're still using Google. Like that's what they've been doing for their whole career. So it's like it's still going to be a channel that's trusted to find results as opposed to just like relying on a ChatGPT. And as we talked about before, even in ChatGPT, a lot of times there's not a link and there's like brand mentions, or maybe there are a link, but people don't click on them. They still then go to Google to look for that brand. That's where I feel like it is like a little sneaky because it's like if somebody found your brand um, in ChatGPT and then they go to search it and then like your ad gets credit, like did your ad really do that? Like probably not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's the total instances, but there are like some sneaky stuff in that instance. But I will say across our portfolio of clients, whether like local service based businesses, software B2B instances, search still works. It still drives
So
performance.
I found myself doing a personal search and research. I was trying to figure out a way in the back of my truck to divide it up to safely have my dog in the back of it because I have a camper shell on the back of it. And we trying to figure out if we don't want to do a kennel or a crate back there, like what are the options out there for like dividers, truck beds, and something. So I've had like this really long research like conversation with ChatGPT. I figured ChatGPT can solve my problem, right, of what I'm looking for to see if there's a product or solution out there. And when I started to go down this rabbit hole, I probably spent like 45 minutes to an hour and a half just on my phone, just going through it and all the recommendations they were giving to me. I think ChatGPT has a huge flaw on finding products that are good because of all these listicles that are out there. They're fake listicles, right? Like the top 10 X product websites, like posts that are out there. A lot of times it's the same product. Like the number one mention will be the person that is selling the product. They'll be number one. But all these like spam listings actually coming up and generating some pretty shitty results in ChatGPT for product queries items because the the best part about like SEO people and affiliate marketers, they'll figure out a way to spam the indexes, be it for ChatGPT or Google. And this has been something of the last 6 to 8 months where it's these brand mention listicles that happen. I've tested them out. It does work for sure.
Same.
But like it's provided, like they don't have a filter yet in ChatGPT. Like they don't have as strong as a team in Google, like the anti-spam team, which they should have, to kick this shit out because it actually had a pretty shitty performance as far as when I was trying to find something.
So then
And
you're
you're like,
probably going to be less likely to do that again.
yeah, guess where I went? I went to Google and I found
I had a
better
similar experience recently with a
results
product
than
for
that.
Windows.
Like it
I literally
failed.
had the same exact thing. It's funny that you say that.
Yeah, I just failed. You think it's there. Like ChatGPT is very good about like reporting, doing content, crunching numbers, coding,
Strategy.
strategy, and even though sometimes it gets a little funky, but like okay. And these are all LLMs, I will say. They're good at it. But like product recommendations, even for companies too. Like that, whatever that, what is that search intent? Like trying to find a product or service. Like that, the actual like bottom funnel, it sucks
I
because it
know.
doesn't.
I couldn't agree more.
It's really bad actually. Um,
I couldn't
because
agree more.
yeah, it's a weird
And
one.
and that's where like the lead gen stuff for like brands and for products like Google still is where it's at. Um, I almost think of it now. It's like I just use like ChatGPT and other like LLMs in like a different way. Like I wouldn't use for Google. Like good example. You know what I do a lot with them is in Google Tag Manager. When I'm building conversion actions and tags, I will take a screenshot of my tag and then I will give it context to whatever. I usually try and use like Gemini and ChatGPT just to get like two looks. And I'll say like, here's the client's website, here's what I'm trying to track, and like any other context and like any other potential nuances. That's like a great use case for an AI, for an LLM. To be like, hey, like I think you should approach the tag instead of using like page URL, you should use page path, and here's why. or whatever, I would have never used Google for that in the past. Maybe I would have been like, YouTubing it or Googling it, but it's like not really at the same time. Like it's a different experience.
Yeah, maybe it's something where like ChatGPT is and LLMs in general are a great um like problem solver, but not actually like solution solver.
Or like recommendations.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it's more recommendations. That's I think is the right keyword now that I'm thinking about it. Like,
Yeah.
provide me a recommendation on this, Eh, because how do they determine the reputation of the recommendation? Right,
And Google's been doing that for,
right.
two
And that's
decades now.
and that's very different than like figure out how I can track this. That's not a recommendation. You know, that's
Exactly.
that's like we're problem solving this. Yeah, we'll give you a recommendation, but it's not the same thing.
It's not.
I'm not articulating it correctly, but there's something there where ChatGPT fails and Google succeeds.
I know exactly what you mean. And that's where I'm like on the exact same page. And I think like this whole AI topic has been like such an evolution. I think in when did it come out? Like 2022, like January 2022 or 23?
For what? ChatGPT?
Yeah, was it end of 22?
Yeah, into 22.
Well, regardless,
Yeah,
something like that. A couple years
yeah,
ago, I think
22.
most
That's
people
about
were
right.
like, whoa, like AI, this is crazy. It's going to take ads are done, SEO is screwed, and it's going to take so many jobs away. And then all like I've now flip flopped that where I think it's actually additive. Like that example there of tags, I probably wouldn't have done that on Google, but now it's like another search. It's like more activity that you're going to use online. And then I also think we're not at the point where like agents are like, yo, you're so much more productive. I think that narrative is like a little bit nonsense.
Yeah,
But I do think that's also going to be an additive where if say for example you have a top performing employee, AI makes them 30% more productive. Why would you start firing people? I would just start hiring more people and I could just get more out of them. You know what I mean? It's like I think
yeah,
the whole thing is I've shifted my mindset more towards it's like completely additive.
yeah. No, it's for sure additive, and it's funny because people have done certain queries, like you just actually talked about it, where they have moved their searches from Google to actually ChatGPT, right? Where you just said like, hey, I'd probably do a traditionally like a Google search to figure out this tracking problem, etc. But that's no longer needed in Google search, right? And it's not that Google was actually the best at it. You'd have a bunch of people in forums or website blog posts that are talking about the solution, and you're going through and you're trying to figure out when you maybe take a combination of both or this and you're comparing, or like an Excel formula, right? That was a fucking thing. Or coding advice. That's all gone. And that's where you see a lot of people complaining. But that makes sense. That's where ChatGPT comes in and does a fantastic job. Where Google's traditional searches still work
Exactly.
great. So whatever that distinguishes, I can't articulate the difference right now, but it's like there's just two different intents that they're very good at. Google's still there, so it's like yeah, it's really interesting.
I think the whole narrative here being like it's search I don't think is ever going to go away. Like it's just not going to go away. And it's going to be, maybe voice search becomes a little bit more prominent with the whole like Siri integration with Gemini, but I think, coming out of this, I think you definitely be confident in Google if you're investing ad dollars there in e-commerce and lead gen and like keep an eye on ChatGPT ads. Obviously if like we hear anything, we'll have a deeper dive into it, but I think nonetheless like there's search volume out there for both paid and organic. And like, I don't know, much less like uh raise the red flags and much more of like this is actually an additive experience all aboard.
I think there's maybe a way we could classify what Google was shitty at, the websites of showing up the search results versus what ChatGPT is really good at. Any website that had like that was made like AdSense dollars,
Oh my
like
God.
display revenue, like like the Excel websites, any of these ones I mentioned, like those are the ones that are better at ChatGPT now, and that's where people really complain. Like my AdSense dollars go away, etc. Well, you're just building content to build content. But like, like if you solve like if you're a service or you provide a service or you sell a product, Google is still number one on finding those customers for you.
It's a fact.
You know, so
That is
yeah,
a fact. that's a I feel like this is probably a good place to wrap it, but I do feel like the agencies now that are like full force branded as like AI and geo and like that's the full branding. I don't necessarily know if I don't know. I don't know how I fully feel about that. I feel like it's got to be a component to what you do in
Yeah.
search and what you do in shopping and lead gen, but I feel like just going all in on it right now is I don't know. It's a bit interesting there to say the least. So, but I think this is like really cool updates here and I don't know. Feel like thought through some things here and maybe we could like think about how to speak to the difference in
Yeah, I got to
intent
figure that
on
one
these
out.
platforms and like figure that piece out.
What? So what would have been interesting? We could take this transcript and we can have ChatGPT figure out what the hell it is.
True.
That's what it's good
'Cause
at.
shout out Riverside. We do these podcasts and they do give you a transcript. So maybe, yeah, but I don't know. The context window might be like a little bit much here with words, but I don't know. Maybe we could take the specific section that we chatted through here at the back end.
Yeah, I bet it could. We'll come back. We'll have an update. We'll try to do that.
All right. You want to
All
call it
right, cool.
there?
Yeah, I think it's good. Thanks,
Cool.
everyone.
Keep investing in Google. This is not sponsored by them, but I think that's a safe bet here.
Yes, sir. Like, subscribe, do all those fun things, I guess. That too.
Later, y'all.
Bye.